Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, made possible by our exclusive community at patreon.com. Please visit patreon.com/RBDR if you're a regular viewer of this video series. I'm Bob Lederer. Advertising agencies used to be one of the bastions of research, a service and a partner of advertisers, and their most important focus was the creative, which required a ton of good research. But the situation has changed for ad agencies with all of the revolutionary changes in placement of advertising and other new fixtures. And RBDR's regular contributor, Bill Harvey, would like the agencies to once again sparkle in their creativity, usefulness, and reliability on behalf of advertisers. Today he shares some of his thoughts on how that might happen.
I got my start at agencies, so I have a special fondness for agencies, and I'd like to offer some advice to agencies, which also applies to advertisers and all of us in the community. The agencies need to actually have their own science. They need to build things. They need to build their own systems, not bring in proprietary-looking systems that are really just off-the-shelf ad tech or martech. Because advertisers can do that themselves. And there is this movement to in-housing. The agencies ought to be investing in creating data-driven platforms of their own, incorporating all of their institutional knowledge and wisdom. Now, in doing that, they need to consider the balance between short and long-term. They need to consider the balance between direct marketing, sales, and digital sales, and branding effects, lasting branding effects in the minds and hearts of consumers. They need to be able to optimize against those different levels of outcomes. And they need to do it across media types, and they have to include the creative and the context effects in that process. And they need to do it in a way that shows that they have based it on reality, on testing, on data, on their own body of experience. Agencies now have vast amounts of storehouses of records of data and results for taking different actions. They need to analyze it, and they need to invest in those things. Now, when I first got into the business, there was a foot rule that 80% of the advertising effect came from creative and 20% came from media. That was among branding advertising. The direct marketers always said, no, creative is the least important. It's the offer, the target, they called it the list, and then the creative. But nowadays, what we know is that 65 to 80% of the effect of branding advertising can be read in sales effect from creative, and 35% from media. We know that the creative has twice the effect of the media, roughly. So you can't leave the creative out and do media optimization. It doesn't make any sense. They're covariant. In building these optimizers, the agencies have to consider targeting, they have to consider reach, they have to consider sales impacts, they have to consider branding impacts. And in order to get the right balance, we have to take account of the fact that advertisers have gone through two religious changes in our experience in the last few decades. The first was when supermarkets started to get scanners. There was a huge shift in the distribution of dollars, marketing dollars, away from advertising into promotion, which tended to lower brand equities and train shoppers to buy on deal, often only stocking up on the same brand that they would have bought anyway, so giving away free money. And advertisers came back from that precipice and learned from it not to be overzealous. But then they got overzealous when they got into digital, because all of a sudden direct marketing, which they'd always resisted and never thought it was for them, came into their minds through a back door. And so they learned how to get short-term sales effects from digital, and they forgot about branding effects, long-term effects, which depend much more on television, which has 4 times the half-life of digital, 4 or 5 times the half-life lasting effects of digital. So we have to get back to a right balance. And it's important for agencies to do this, for agencies to continue to be the effective part of the industry they've always been. My recommendation, take a look at the white paper We deliver it at the ARF called Cross Media ROI Optimization Must Include Creative.
That's your Research Business Daily Report, made possible by members of our exclusive community on the crowdfunding platform known as Patreon. Special thanks to all of our current patrons, and most especially our latest, Ray Pointer, and yes, Bill Harvey. They joined our viewer group because they recognize the value that RBDR brings to conversations in the industry. Now, if you're interested in joining the community and gaining access to exclusive RBDR perks and services, you can visit patreon.com/RBDR. The size of your research operation does not matter at all, neither does the type of research you do or the company that you work for, nor is it relevant if you work on the client side or the supplier side. You can be anywhere on earth, as Ray Pointer clearly shows. So please give it some thought and become a patron today. Have a great research day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.